Hey y'all, it's almost Christmas. So today I'm going to give y'all my 2025 Christmas home tour. Let's go. I hope y'all enjoy. To start the tour, we're going to begin right here at the front gate. Every year I put the garland with the lights on this gate, and this year I made some new red bows. I think they turned out pretty. This lighted garland really brightens up this spot down here and my mood. I'll probably leave it up until spring. I'll take the bows off, but I'll probably leave the lighted garland until spring. It helps. This is my home, my front porch. We decorate it every year with lights around the windows. We'll get a closer look at that here in a minute. But right now, I want to walk across the yard and show y'all a couple of Christmas containers that I made. Nothing special. I just used what I had. I used greenery from my own yard here. That's one good thing about living in the South is we have lots and lots of greenery that we can use for containers. We have magnolia, we have nandina. I had hydrangea blooms that I was able to use, dried hydrangea blooms that I was able to use. I think they turned out really pretty. Let me turn the camera around and show y'all what I'm talking about. These are the containers. In the summer, I have macho ferns in here, in these two right here, but they can't withstand the little bit of cold that we get. I live in Zone 8A, Mississippi, and our summers are hot and humid, and the ferns love it. But when the ferns died, the pots were empty for a little bit, and I said, well, I'm going to put something in them for Christmas. So I used magnolia. We have plenty of magnolia trees. Well, I have them in my yard. My mama has beautiful magnolia tree in her yard too. Nandina with those berries, isn't that beautiful? I got these. I have a couple of nandina bushes, but I got the majority of the nandina that I use here in my good friend Trisha Ball's in her yard. Her mama, Miss Patricia, used to keep my twins. So going over to her house is kind of like going home. I also have these dried hydrangeas. I'd had these for several years. They were dried in my house, and I just had them in a vase sitting on top of a desk. And so I broke them out, and I spray painted them. You can see there's a little bit of difference in the red. This one's more of an orangey red, and this one is more of a, I guess maybe like a cranberry red. But I think that they look good together. You know, your Christmas stuff doesn't have to be matchy-matchy. That's what I say anyway. But I think they turned out pretty. Here's the other one. And this container, I have magnolia, some hydrangeas, and now these berries are faux. And this stem is too, this pick is too. Those came from the Dollar Tree. No, Dollar General. But look, these branches right here, I cut these from a tree I have in the backyard. And I think it is a Japanese magnolia. It's a Japanese magnolia. So I don't know if these little things are going to bloom out or not. I need to cut some and bring them in the house and maybe try to force them. Wouldn't that be pretty? But I think this is pretty out here. And I have my little man. This was a bird bath. And he sat in the middle of the bird bath. And when the big tree fell, it crushed my bird bath. But thank goodness the pedestal and my little guy, they remained intact. So I just have him sitting over here in the woods, kind of in my shade garden. But he looks quite festive for Christmas. Let's head on up to the front porch. This year, I put lighted garland around my front door. I've never done that before. I usually just have those 2 wreaths on either side of the door. But I had some garland, somehow or another, I had some garland left over. So I said, well, I'll put it around the front door, and I learned how to make pretty bows this year. I watched John Mark Sharp. He's a florist from Germantown, Tennessee, right, basically Memphis, Tennessee. But he makes the most beautiful bows. And so I learned from him how to make bows, and I wanted to make some pretty bows for my front door, and I think they look fabulous. I had all the ribbon from years and years ago. This wreath, if y'all will remember, back in the late summer, I was looking for something to kind of refresh my front door, and I didn't have anything. So I thought. Then I came across the dried hydrangeas. So I found an old Christmas wreath. It was pretty big, and I just covered it with the dried hydrangeas, and it's been on my front door ever since late summer. For Christmas, I put some magnolia in it. Just, you know, shoved it right in the dried hydrangeas that were already there. See, they're the dried hydrangeas. I put magnolia and nandina, and this is some fern. Those are the nandina berries. I added some more dried hydrangeas. I spray painted them. I spray painted them the red or cranberry color. I think I used probably both colors. And then I made a big pretty bow to put on it. So I think it turned out pretty. Now, these live greens, they will desiccate. They'll dry up. They'll die. And they may not look the best. But we have so many magnolias and nandinas. Like a while ago before I started filming this, I went and cut some more magnolias to replace the ones that were not looking so great. And I added that fern. The few little pieces of fern. Oh, and here's a little bit of ivy. So I think it turned out pretty. I'm proud of my efforts on my front door this year. Every year we just put white lights around our windows. They're on the white string, so it just kind of blends in. And I put those wreaths on my windows, over my windows every year with a pretty bow. And this piece of wall space just looked kind of bare. So a while ago, before I started filming, I thought, I got to put something right there because it just looks bare. So I went and cut some magnolias and some nandina, and I just went around in my yard and picked up limbs that had fallen. These are from my big oak tree, and I spray painted the leaves. I spray painted them the same color that I spray painted the hydrangeas in my wreath. And so I think that this adds some color and some interest here on my front porch. We have our rocking chair and our front porch swing. And we use our front porch a lot. We love to come out here and sit. I guess we're typical old Southern people just sitting on the front porch. Come on in. Let me show y'all around. This is our living room. You're greeted with the ornaments on the chandelier. Danny did that for me this year. He usually does. I think it looks really pretty. We have this arrangement on the coffee table. I did a video making this. I used these flowers from a wedding where I did the wedding flowers. And it still looks pretty. Our Christmas tree, it's the same as every year. I'm not any kind of a themed person. I don't do themes we just use the ornaments that we like. Most of the ornaments on this tree are shatterproof because I have 4 boys. And when they were little, we broke a lot of ornaments. So I got smart and I started to find the shatterproof ornaments. And I like bright and shiny. Well, not the brand bright and shiny, just ornaments that are shiny and bright. And I like to put those on the tree. I have ornaments from my kids when they were growing up. I like sparkly things. But my favorite thing about the tree is this ribbon. I've had this ribbon for years. And I love it. I love how it just does the little curly cues and the dippity-doos. I think it's really pretty. And I only have 5 rolls of this ribbon, and they're not really, really long. So I have to make it stretch for the tree every year. And I have looked for more of the, I just got it at Walmart. I don't know, probably about 15 years ago. Has it been that long? A good while ago anyway. And I looked for more ribbon just like it, and I cannot find it anywhere. So I'm hoping I don't ever lose this. Over here, I have a little Christmas display with Santa Claus. That's just a canvas picture of Santa Claus that I think I got it at Dollar General years ago. This year, I put the American flag picture. A friend of mine painted that for me. Betsy painted that for me years ago. So I hung it right there, and I made a pretty bow and put some greenery on top of it. It's that fake greenery, what they call the Norfolk pine. But this is the mantle. It looks a little bit different this year. I used to put all kinds of different colored picks, and it had like peppermint picks in it, and you know, all kinds of fun stuff like that. But I wanted to go a little more mature. So this is what we did. I mean, all this stuff I had. I didn't buy anything new. And these stockings are old. I've had these for years. I think I got them at Fred's Dollar Store, which is closed now. So that's how old they are. But Jeb actually did this mantle for me this year. I think he was afraid that I wasn't going to get it in gear and get everything decorated. And I would just have boxes and boxes out, because I tend to do that. I tend to be a procrastinator, and it takes me a long time to get stuff done. So he jumped in over here and he did the mantle for me. I think it turned out really pretty. Over here, we have, on this little side table, we have the little manger scene. Now this used to be in the middle of a wreath that I had above the double doors. But I took that apart, and I put this here. I can't remember if I put it here last year or not. But I have my nativity. But this is my favorite Christmas card. The one with Elvis back there. I can't remember what year that was. What does it say? 2012. But I remember Mathis and Noah were mad because Elvis didn't put his hands on their shoulders. They got mad about it, and it was a big deal. We went to Graceland one day. We took them out of school, went to Graceland, had the best time, had their picture made with Elvis. I said, oh, this will be a cute Christmas card. And the twins were so mad because they were not the ones who ended up with the Elvis on their shoulders. But I love that. Now, this is what we call the double doors, because there are double doors that kind of separate this room from the living room. And I always put garland over it. This looks a little bit different this year too, because I didn't use all the colorful, bright picks that I normally use. I had, you know, the Ralph Lauren thing was a big trend this year. And I love Ralph Lauren. And I remembered that I had that plaid ribbon. Years ago, I thought I was going to use it, and I bought a bunch of rolls of that plaid ribbon, but I didn't. I didn't use it. So I remembered that I had that, and I said, well, I'm going to go that direction. That's where I used to have the big wreath with the little manger scene in it. But instead of putting that back up there this year, I had this hunt scene picture. My mother-in-law gave me that years and years ago. She framed it for me, and anyway, I thought that I would use that up there. I made the big bow and put the greenery up there. I think it looks pretty. On this table, we have this fella. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's Julius Caesar or I don't know who else might it be. It's not Beethoven, I don't think, but it's somebody. And I always dress him up with a little bow. I just put some ornaments in this bowl. This bowl sits out here. I don't put anything away before I put my Christmas decorations out. I just incorporate my Christmas decorations into what I already have. I don't have enough storage space to put stuff in and out. Okay, this little office space, this is what we call the red room. Now, I know that makes no sense because it's white in here, but once upon a time, these walls were covered with wallpaper. And it was wallpaper from the 20s probably? I don't know. It was very old. It was that wallpaper that had the cheesecloth like tacked on the wall, and then you would put the wallpaper on top of that. It was very old, and it was torn. It was in the house when we moved in. So we, rather than taking the wallpaper down and like sheetrocking the walls, I thought, well, I want the walls to look rustic because this is an old house, and I didn't want to try to make it look new in these rooms. And I thought it would be easier than sheetrock and like not as messy. Well, let me tell you, sanding these boards was about the messiest thing we could have ever done. But we did the living room. The wallpaper in here was red, so we called it the red room. We did the living room, the red room, and the dining room. We took all the wallpaper off and sanded the boards and painted them all. And I like it. I'm going to turn this light on. It may be a little easier to see things. But yeah, these are the boys. That was from 06. So Mathis and Noah were 2. Yeah. That's Jeb and Cooper. Cooper was just probably 6 months old in that picture. They've all grown up on me. These are magnolia leaves from either our magnolia tree or my mama's. I love living here in Mississippi. Magnolia is our state tree and our state flower. So we have ample magnolias. And see, this one's a little bit dead, so I need to take it out, but I can take it out and just refresh it with a new one. But it still looks good. We put, oh, that angel back there on top of that cabinet. Danny and I made that years ago. I don't know, maybe like 8 years ago or something. Out of old pallets. We had an old pallet and we put the boards back together and we just traced that angel with paint. And we leave it up there year round. I think she's pretty. Now let's go into the dining room. I love this table. This came from Danny's Aunt Margie, and the china cabinet too. I think they're both really pretty. We do the same decorations in here every year, so we kind of know where everything goes. We always put the deer down the middle. Oh, I meant to light those candles. Where's a lighter? Let me light it. We're fancy. No kidding, these candles have been in these candle holders for about 2 years. I've never lit them. But y'all are special. We're lighting them for y'all. Now, and we do actually eat in this dining room. When all 6 of us are here and we cook a meal, we'll sit down and eat at the dining room table. Say the blessing, pass the food around, and eat. That's the way I grew up eating, was everybody would sit at the table and eat. But we just don't get to do that very often now. I have a collection of Christmas trees that we display in here. Jeb helped me with that this year too. Over here, we just have some little Christmas to-dos and doodads and whatnots. And this is also where we have our treasures. When we go treasure hunting and like take the metal detector, whatever we find that's we think is pretty neat and important, we'll put it in
bottles.
Yeah, we'll put our treasures in this treasure box. There's an old lock. I found a wedding band. I don't even know where it is now. It's in here somewhere, I think. Just lots of neat things. Hey, Noah.
Well, grab a cookie.
Okay. But yeah, we do the same things every year in here. But I think it's pretty. Okay, I'll let y'all come in the kitchen. It's not really decorated for Christmas, but this is the kitchen. I don't do a lot of Christmas decorations in here, but I do put some wreaths in my windows. These are the old WWE action figures from way back when. I found them, so we just keep them in the window right here. I do know that this is Rey Mysterio. He was a high flyer, and I don't know who this is. Who is that?
I don't know.
I'll have to ask Noah. He'll be able to tell me. But this is my kitchen. This is where Danny makes the magic happen. He does a lot of the cooking for us, and he does it very well. I have wreaths in these windows. And I have this pretty Santa picture right here. Now this came from Dollar General also, years ago. But I think he's pretty with the green. And I have a Santa picture over here, and he's not. See, that picture is normally there, and this is just a canvas Santa. And I just stuck a thumbtack or push pin. And now we're ready for Christmas. Oh, outside this window, Danny and I put those Christmas trees. I love looking outside and seeing that light out there. It just brightens it. It brightens my mood. It brightens the atmosphere. But those are two, what do we call them? Obelisks or trellises. And Danny made those for me, I don't know, about 5 years ago. I told him what I wanted, and he was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I'll show you. So I showed him a YouTube video of somebody making them. So he and I, well, it was mainly him. He made them for me. I just kind of showed him what I wanted, and he did it. But this past, I don't think it was this past summer, but maybe the summer before, we had almost like, no, it was when the tree fell. The tree fell in the front yard, and that tall obelisk was under that tree, and it kind of messed it up. But we pieced it back together and put it back here for the Christmas lights. Way to go, Danny. I love my kitchen. I love the tall ceilings. I love the bright lights. I love that Danny does a lot of the cooking. But I have done some holiday baking this year. Yesterday I made some chocolate chip cookies. A couple of days ago I made a plum baby food cake that's delicious. We've made sausage balls. We've made little, not cheese straws, but little cheese wafers that you use Rice Krispies and cheddar cheese. And anyway, those are really delicious. What else have we made?
No bake oatmeal.
Oh yeah, the chocolate no bake oatmeal chocolate peanut butter cookies. Those are the best. Those are a big hit at our house.
My favorite.
Danny's favorite. So yeah, we think Christmas is grand, especially when you do all that baking. I just asked Noah, and he said that this wrestler's name is Daniel Bryan. So I'll put him back. All right. That's it. That does the home tour this year. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope y'all have a very Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.